Hail, literary savages. I'll go with that this time. Uh, how's it going? I'm Eric Wag. I just wanted to talk about a subject. I was going to make a video about this pretty soon anyway. Just my own personal opinions. Uh, but I was prompted to do it now because just yesterday there's a tweet arguing about, who and what we should read. And there's a gentleman by the name of Kentucky Objectivist, and I'm going to read his comment. Before I do, I just want to say I'm not angry at this guy. He's got an honest opinion here, and yeah, I think the most Iron Agers are pretty chill, pretty mature. So I don't think anyone would go out of their way to be a jerk to this guy. But I just wanted to say that openly. I know you guys are cool. So Kentucky Objectivist says there are so few indies pursuing quality, though. Most are pursuing publication and recognition. I'm becoming black-pilled on the issue over time because so many so-called Iron Age creatives are just horrible at their craft. Mostly, we have great visual artists. That's it. And I say basically, there's lots of bad writers. Um, I'll just read it out. There are oceans of bad writers, but a 30-second look inside will clear out 95% of them. I've found tremendous indies with minimal effort. And he says, cool, give me your top three Iron Age indies, and I'll check them out. And I'll respond here later after giving each a genuine chance. Yeah, so fair enough. I disagree with a few things that he's saying right off the bat that we're pursuing publication and recognition. Uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. We all want to be published, so we just publish ourselves. I don't think most Iron Ages are looking for traditional publishing deals unless something comes along that's really tremendous. And honestly, if someone gets a traditional publishing deal and it's something they want to do, I'm not going to be angry at them. That's the writers are for the most part not people that I have a beef with, so that's not an issue. Uh, yeah, yeah, we're just publishing our own stuff. As far as being blackpilled over, how many poor books are out there, he does have a point that there are a lot of really badly written indie books out there. If you go onto Amazon and you check out, um, I'm not going to point out any specific names or titles here, but yeah, if you go into the look inside feature, or I think they call it, what do they call it now? Read sample now. Uh, there's some things that are poorly set. Uh, I've read some, thank you pages that were basically people trying to pick fights with other authors. Uh, Badly written stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there that's badly written, and that's just how the indie sphere works. You can publish whatever you like. Um, the One of the main issues I think Iron Age and indies have in general is that we're very weak with marketing because we don't have the connections, we don't have the money, right? And we're not marketing and promo experts. So we do our best to get our stuff out, and the reader is left to do all the work. So I don't take a book, put it up, and say, read this, and you just go to the bookstore and read it. You have to go out there and find your own stuff. And the good things, which are absolutely out there, and there's a lot of good things, are mixed in with this vast amount of maybe not so good stuff. And of course, it's completely subjective. So, you know, it's up to you. The reader is the one that's going to have to go in and do a little extra work. And this is a bit of a problem, asking a customer to go an extra mile, because it should be the other way around. But if you've got suggestions about marketing or promo for us Iron Agers or indies, yeah, let me know. I'm always listening. Um, so yeah, you got to do your own research. Um, there are a lot of gems out there, as I said, and another big positive of having people just put whatever they want out there for whomever to read is that you get a lot of different styles in a genre, and there are lots of books that are what am I going to say? Genre questioning. You know, I'm proud of that one. Genre questioning. They're cowboy tales with dinosaurs. They're sword and sorcery horrors. There are fantasy romances. There's a whole range of things you can get that are maybe the genre is just completely inexplicable. It's just whatever it is. And genre was always a tool for bookstores and other marketers, for corporations to sell books. It's not a sign of good writing, of good literature. Um, anyway, so you got to go the extra mile. You got to go out there, look through the genres that you're interested in. Um, you do have to check out the book covers because that's how you see things, right off the bat. And then use the read sample feature or look inside, whatever it's called. Um, you'll know pretty quickly if this is if this is what you want to read. You can also look to see if they have an editor or a beta reader, and and then you can take a chance on them. And yeah, some of these are going to be DNF'd. That's fine. Um, but okay, so he asks for 3 Iron Age indies, and he'll check them out, which is great. Thank you for being open-minded. Um, so I think his opinions are honest here. That's fine. So I'm going to pull out more than 3, and I have, well, I'll just show you what I'm going to do here. First of all, I'm going to talk about short stories and anthologies, because this is a great way you can find writers that you're interested in. The original plan I had for this video was just talk about where you can start in the Iron Age. I think I already said that. Where does an adventurer start? Okay, well, short stories are a great way to just spend a few minutes, you know, with an author, and you get a sense of how they write, and if you want to continue on reading them. So I'm going to bring up this one here, which I'm about halfway through. Aegeon number 6. Everything in this anthology has been great so far, so you might want to check out Aegeon. I haven't looked at the other ones yet. I'm going to pick them all up eventually. Um, this year has been pretty brutal for free reading time. If I have any spare time, I've been spending it editing for the most part. It's been a lot of editing. And yeah, so I haven't read through all of these, but um, yeah, yeah, it sucks. I want to read more. Anvil, again, I'm about halfway through this. Of course, I'm going to plug Anvil. This one is clearly Iron Age. Uh, it does it even say it on the cover? Iron Age magazine. Yeah. Aegeon, I don't think he calls himself Iron Age. Let's call him Iron Age adjacent. He's certainly in that vein. It's not a tightly guarded club. You know what I mean? You can call yourself Iron Age, and there are people out there like, oh, I'm gonna go back to Aegeon. Uh, I think Brendan Hurd, he'd probably call himself Iron Age. Spoken with Matthew Punjatori, who's very good atmospheric, very poetic kind of writer. I don't think he would call himself Iron Age, which is fine. You know, he's a cool guy. Check him out. So back to Anvil. Yeah, I'm about halfway through this. This is also fantastic. There's nothing I don't like in this. So you could start there. Uh, now, as for books, I have more than 3. Of course, I'm going to plug my own book, Citadel of Seven Swords. Uh, yeah, give me your opinion, please. you know, um, I don't know when the next sale is going to be, um, but yeah, give me your opinion. I also have this series out. I just talked about it in the last video, so quick plug. Sword and 70s. Uh, once I'm done with book 3 of my main series, I'll probably work on another 1 or 2 of these. Yeah, this is the genre questioning book, right? I don't know. I've been calling them Gonzo retro urban sword and sorcery. So I made it up. They're all made up. So let me get on to some other recommendations of places you can start in the Iron Age. Um, this guy here, Sheepskin Volume 1 by Dr. John T. Parse. Uh, Now, it's going to be weird for me to say this, but I haven't read this paperback version. I've read maybe a third of it to half of it on Substack. Um, I don't really like reading stuff off of a screen, so I really slowed down. And this is at the top of my uh, TBR. Well, that's about number 3, actually. So hopefully going to get to this soon. But what I've read so far is it's great. It's not really. Is it fantasy? I guess it is fantasy. Fantasy is a terrible way to split books up. I'll hold it up a little longer. It's kind of creepy. It's got a, I don't know, vaguely Orwell or Animal Farm feel. It's a psychological um, and magical, I don't know, horror, I guess. It has a vaguely cosmic horror feel to it. And yeah, it's very good. Speaking of cosmic horror, I'm going to bring up this guy here, Shagduck from J.B. Jackson. Again, I'm only about halfway through this book. It's a little bit of a slow burn at the start. He gets deep into characterization. It has a very real feel to it. I love the characters. Um, Kind of a geeky, slightly out of place, intelligent uh, MC who is a bit awkward and finds himself getting involved in a kind of demonic horror mystery that just draws you in a little bit by little bit in that cosmic horror fashion where things start getting out of hand more and more quickly. And it's a lot of fun. Um, which one next? Okay, let's talk about Dan the Destructor, which I've covered before. And I've said, this has got it's got a rocky start, and it's something you have to sort of get into. Rob Rhymes has his own very unique writing style. Some people aren't going to like it, so a bit rocky. There are, there's some spelling and grammatical errors, which I can forgive because we can't afford 3 or 4 levels of edits before we put these things out all the time. But it's so much fun. It's just such a wild ride. And I haven't gotten to it yet. I've only had a peek, but I've had some trusted sources talk about his book too, where his writing is really smoothed out. The problems that come up in Dan the Destructor just seem to go away in this one. So I'm really jonesing to get onto this one as fast as possible because I've heard a lot of good things about it. And again, his style is just so, I guess kino is the word. It's like watching a lost episode of the Heavy Metal movie. It's very 80s, off the wall action, and it's great. And I'm going to talk about one more, and this is one of the first books I read, indie books that I read when I got onto Twitter. And I don't know if this guy would call himself Iron Age either, but he's certainly in the vein. It's Alexander Palacio, The Turquoise Serpent. This is fantastic. This is a great sword and sorcery book. Please check it out. It's not that thick because it just goes right at it, and his descriptions are terse but very powerful, which is how it should be with sword and sorcery. Um, it's in the vein of Robert E. Howard. It's I don't want to compare it just with other authors, right? But it's like a Conan, an Aztec Conan, uh, and his not nemesis, but friend slash foe that he it's another character that he plays off of a young wizard, a young sorcerer who's not as wise as the older main character. But this sword and sorcery book is just it's the tension ratchets up right to the last page, and the last 20 pages were just incredible to read. This is a great book. Uh, there's a part 2 out, and I believe he's working on book 3 now. So yeah, you got to check that out. those are all good places to start, in my opinion. It's all my opinion, of course, all subjective. But yeah, check those out. I think there's a lot to chew on there, and have fun with it. Yeah, please buy an indie, review an indie. They really appreciate any reviews, even 1 or 2 sentences. Written reviews are fantastic for indie authors. Yeah, please hit like and subscribe if you like watching this video. Yeah, thank you so much for giving me your time for a few minutes. All right, take care, everyone.